Hello, my friends. I have been ill. You can hear it in my voice, I'm sure, but that doesn't stop me from cooking in the kitchen. Today, we are going to make some cinnamon rolls and chili. It's just a nice comfort food that I thought all of us would enjoy. The first step I had to do was to take my farm fresh milk that I just milked the day prior, and I separated off that delicious cream. I want to make sure I label that so that we don't accidentally use it differently, because we'll need some of that cream later on. So to go ahead and start off with our cinnamon rolls, we're actually making the Amish Friendship Bread Sticky Buns. I need a package of yeast, a cup of sugar. Let's start that over. I need a package of yeast, a fourth a cup of sugar, 1 cup of my Amish Friendship bread starter, a half a cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter melted, 1 egg, and a teaspoon of salt, along with 2.5 to 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, I am stirring up my Friendship starter here and pulling out a cup of that. It is something that you have to maintain a couple times a week. I've been having a lot of fun with it. If you want more information about different recipes and different things that I've been making along with my friend Renee, she has a playlist over on her channel, Pike Creek Farm, and I will put that down below along with both the sticky bun recipe and the chili recipe that we're going to be using today. Here I have just measured out the butter and I've melted that. We're going to add that into my mixer. I'm using my KitchenAid stand mixer for this because it just makes life a lot easier. If you use that kneading hook, it is super helpful, but you absolutely can do this all by hand if you choose to. With the flour, I tend to kind of go by look and feel. And so, if you feel like you need a little more or a little less than what the recipe calls for, use your best judgment with that. And I'm going to set that off to the side, and we're going to clean our station up just a bit so that we can get our crock pot out and get started on our chili recipe. The one I'm using today is from the Pioneer Woman, and it is her chili crock pot recipe. We have tried this before. We really liked it, so I thought, oh, I'll go ahead and film myself making this, and I'll share it with all of you. You'll need a tablespoon of vegetable oil. You use that to fry your hamburger with, so if you don't want to, that's your option. You'll also need a yellow onion chopped, a green bell pepper chopped. If you don't have green bell pepper and you want to use yellow or red or whatever, go for it. You need 2 pounds of ground beef, 4 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, a tablespoon of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, 1 of the 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 1 of the 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, 3 cans. I'll be using my home canned jars of kidney beans. It says 15 ounce, that's about what mine are. You need a 14 ounce of beef broth. I'm going to go ahead and use my pint. You need a chipotle chili in adobo, and then you want to have 2 tablespoons of that adobo sauce from your can, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of ground black pepper. All of that is just suggested in my opinion. Do it to whatever flavors you like. The hamburger we use today is one that we grew here on the farm myself, and we have been enjoying having beef from our very own cows, which has been, a lovely thing to do. But second best would be to find a farmer or a butcher shop, but whatever works for you. I don't have any home canned tomatoes for today, but I do like that particular brand of tomatoes. They work really well. I'm just going to kind of give everything a stir. There's my peppers. I had bought those. It was a 3-pack, and I'd gotten them on a deal, and I chopped them up, had them ready to go. I even had some that I put in the freezer. If you're not familiar with these type of peppers, basically what this is a red jalapeno that they have put sauce on, and so it does have spicy kick, and it's also very smoky, and it just gives such a lovely flavor to everything. And again, your salt and pepper, just, to taste. I'm going to stir everything up, and then I'm going to put this in the crock pot, and we're going to let this cook for several hours while I go on about my day. Back to our cinnamon rolls. Our dough has risen for, at least an hour probably. And I'm going to try to roll this out into a rectangle the best I can. And I've got, about 3/4 of a stick of butter left. I think the recipe actually calls for a little bit more, but I just used what I had. This was the end of that butter, so that's what happened. And I just used the paper to spread it out with. If you noticed, you constantly see me trying to clean up, wash my hands, and as I work, I do that. I grabbed my sugar. I think there was a 1/2 cup we were supposed to use. Rather than mixing my sugar and my cinnamon together, I thought, why not just put down the cinnamon or the sugar and then add the cinnamon? It's all going to kind of melt together anyway. So that's the way I did that. And now I've grabbed myself a pan. We're going to spray that down because they are sticky buns. They're going to get sticky. Here comes that cream. Did you see me put that off to the side? We're going to use that in just a little bit. This recipe reminds me a little bit of the viral TikTok that they have with the store-bought cinnamon rolls. But, you can see I'm just trying to get all the bits and pieces of the cinnamon sugar picked up. And I'm measuring out my cream. Put that back in the fridge so it stays fresh. And next I just need to read the directions again. You'll see me every once in a while leaning over and trying to remember what the heck I'm doing. I didn't remember if I needed to cut this into 9 or 12, but if I remember right, it's 9 that we're going to cut this in, but we needed to put a little brown sugar in the bottom of our pan first. So I'm running around grabbing all the ingredients. I didn't have quite enough brown sugar for that, so I like to keep my brown sugar bags in the container. We added 1/2 of that cream, and then here we are. You can see I tried to find a 1/3, and then I'll divide it by 3 again, and that will give us our 9 nice size sticky bun cinnamon rolls. So once that is on, then we're going to need to get back out some more of that cinnamon sugar or brown sugar. There is a lot of brown sugar in this recipe, but that's what makes it so sticky and delicious. The rest of the cream goes on the top, and then I want to cover this up, and I'm going to try to let this rise. I baked it in the oven. Don't they look amazing? And then we have our delicious chili and cinnamon rolls. It is a typical Kansas meal, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm glad you came along with me today. We'll see you next time, friends.